What's up, folks? I'm Maud, by the way, and welcome to Spooky Month. For one, it is October, and if you are unfamiliar with the kind of the art social media scene a lot of the time, this is the month for challenges. Specifically speaking, challenges revolving around like everyday prompts for all 31 days of the month, right? And these are the Tobers, if you will. All of the like. It started out kind of with Inktober, and then of course there are other variants. There's Tober, there's Tober, there's all of these different prompt lists that people make. And because Inktober isn't like the best resource this year, and just because it's fun to do a bunch of different things, I figured that we would do a bit of a gauntlet, a Tober to end all Tobers. So I would like to draw your attention to a boop. This is my wheel of Tobers. Now, the wheel of Tobers is mostly from a list that I found on Tumblr, honestly. There are 41 options, and basically clicking to spin from all of these, and yes, the links do work. I did check that. So yeah, not even 31. So like 10 will probably be left out. But here is the deal. Obviously, I could, but I don't think I want to post a video every single day. What I want to do is kind of create like a buffer for myself, especially because like this helps with the length of speed paints. I like 3s, although the last instance is going to have to be 4 because of how the 31 days work. So 10 episodes, 31 days, 3 pieces at a time until the finale, which will be 4. And basically, I'm going to be posting this on the 4th day of the challenge. So I'm going to be recording these 3 on the coming 3 days, including today. Actually, today is October 1st. And an interesting thing I think about this is that it kind of adds to the challenge, because when you have a whole prompt list, you do wind up with like a little bit of an idea of what you're going to be doing, right? And in this case, I do have a buffer of 3 days, but basically, the concept is that I'm going to be spinning the wheel. If I didn't explain this well enough, I didn't. I just started, but basically, the idea is that I'm going to spin the wheel, select that day. So today is day 1, and then I'll select for days 2 and 3 as well. But day 1 will be day 1 of the first prompt list. Day 2 will be day 2 of the second prompt list, so on and so forth. Ad infinitum forever. Well, for 31 days. So that is going to be our challenge. A little gauntlet, a little exploration into other people's minds and their prompt lists and what they like to do during the fine art challenge month that is October. So I hope that you will join me on this little experiment, and I hope that we'll have some fun. But with that, let's just get right in here and spin some challenges. A boop. Day 1. Ooh. Okay. Open link in new tab, and I will remove that. Alright. So this is Carister's Inktober, and we will be using day 1 glow. Actually, let me write this down so I can remember, and I'll link these in the description as well. Next one, let's go. And a boop. Day 2. Ghosts fanfic events. Ghost Spooktober. Day 2 is going to be Toffee Apple. Alright? A boop. And I'll remove this. Day 3. Our final selection that we get to know for today. Man, that spinning animation is rough on my eyes. Maybe I should have changed the colors to something more Halloween-y. Alright. Open you up. Let's see. The weenie list. The Halloween-y day. Alright, so this is day 3. Day 3 is bats. Well, we have an interesting assortment of prompts for us here today. So that is going to be, I'll save that. So I'll try and link to the original one so that you have all the days, all of the challenges possible. If you want to follow along with the random aspect of this, then I will link this wheel so that you have a little wheel to play with. And I will link the links if you want to play along on the dailies. Now here, probably, I mean, obviously this is day 4 already, so it doesn't really matter. But I will probably also have put this in a community post, and I will be putting them hopefully ahead of time into the community posts, unnamed, so that you can check for yourself and not be spoiled or anything like that if you want to. I don't know, or if you want to follow along. So regardless, I'm gonna hop over now to the next 3 days and show you what I came up with, because I have no clue what I'm going to do yet. So see you there. Let me just start this off by saying, for how long I planned this, and I got this at the beginning of September, this idea, and how long I hyped it up in my head and was excited for it, I have never started a challenge more stumped. I started both of the first 2 days with a completely different design in mind and wound up spending like an hour trying to sketch out concepts for them. Initially, for Glow, I was going to try and make a piece using an existing character, my OC Phoenix. She uses magic, and I thought it would be cool to make it all glowy and stuff. Yeah, no, I just could not settle on a pose or a look for the face or the body that I liked, so I went to one of my own personal methods for art block. When all else fails, draw a dragon. One of the thoughts that had come to mind upon hearing the word glow was actually a glowworm. Not the bug itself, but the toy. There were these sort of worm baby things whose heads would light up. I had one when I was little. I wound up making a little chubby grub sort of dragon, almost inspired by it, with a mostly little wormy body and some wings. I imagine this is the first life stage of some bioluminescent moth dragon. I know actual glowworms are more like fireflies, but I thought a moth would be cute. I also added in some glowing mushrooms to kind of imply that this little guy was just crawling on the wall of a cave. Despite my initial struggles, I think that this little guy is super cute. I want to name him something like Hugo. That feels like it fits. Hugo is a sweet, chubby glowworm baby, that's worm with a Y, by the way, who loves to eat just anything in sight. His main diet is glowing mushrooms that like to grow around his cave. His family visits occasionally, but he's mostly left on his own at night. He hopes to join them once he finally metamorphosizes into a giant moth dragon himself. Alright, on to day 2, and we have Toffee Apple as a prompt, and another moment of just absolutely frustrated design art block. I decided I would try and stick with new character designs for this month after making Hugo, but apparently my brain was just not liking humanoids. Because initially I tried to make a demon girl character inspired by the candy apples, and I got as far as actually lining before I was like, I just don't like this, so I moved back to some creature design. I took a lot of inspiration from Diplin, the Applin variant from Gen 9 DLC, and I wanted to make sort of an apple mimic dragon. Yes, we're sticking with dragons, at least so far. I thought maybe I could do something a little bit scarier at first, like an actual mimic, maybe trying to trick people into trying to eat it, but ha! It eats you first! Eventually, though, I did just kind of settle on a bit of a friendlier design. I went for a red candied apple, that's the one the Brits call a toffee apple anyway. I think a part of me knew caramel apples were different. Like, I've seen the bright red ones, but I always forget that there are variants. The red toffee or candied variety use sugar heated to hard crack stage, whereas the caramel apple is usually softer. It's all sugar at the end of the day, but it's different, damn it! I decided to take this as an opportunity to play around with like the really nice, shiny rendering for both our critter and an apple I put off to the side for comparison and to make kind of a little scene. Maybe this friend is hoping to be adopted or just trying to sneak an apple themselves. I don't know. I think the dragon is sort of like a slime dragon and can maybe shapeshift. Fittingly, I want to name them Toffee. They're a very laid-back slime dragon who likes sweets and imitates them a lot. And finally, for this episode, we have day 3, bats. For this, I did still make a new design, but it is actually kind of for an already existing character, or at least a concept for them. This is Chorus. They exist in a story concept I've been kicking around just inside my own brain for years. I feel like at some point, if I were to really devote myself to game dev or get into it to any degree beyond the little bit that I am now, I would actually want to make it like a 2D character action sort of game with platforming. It's inspired a lot by an old Flash game I really liked when I was younger. Chorus is this kind of meta character who knows more than they let on and guides both the player and the main character. I imagine them having kind of like a Cheshire Cat vibe. I always imagine them as sort of a hybrid between a bat, a dragon, and an opossum. Here, I drew them chilling out upside down with some bat friends to keep with the prompt better and show the size difference because they're pretty big. I do really like how the pose for this came out, and the cute little bats just hanging out. Like, I love their little faces. I also decided to flat this in black and white and play around with gradient mapping today. I really feel like the vibe of this character fits the purple sunset gradient well. I still fiddled around with a little bit more of the color placements afterward, of course, and shaded on a separate layer as well. Day 2 screamed fall to me, but this day really screams Halloween specifically, and I love that. But those are this round set for my Gauntlet of Tobers. I hope that you like this series. It'll definitely have me posting more often this month. I'll be posting on the 4th day after every 3-day batch. So subscribe if you like to catch the end of the series and let me know what you think of this week's creations. At that though, I'll leave y'all here and I'll see you on Monday for days 4 through 6.